Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna take you through this little PowerPoint here to explain how the test is gonna work. So just bear along with me here, and then we'll actually get you guys start logging in towards the end of the PowerPoint here. So we're taking a test through an organization called MAP. It's about 52 questions long. They say it takes 50 minutes. Other teachers on campus have said that it's going to take a little bit longer, but we'll see. You can ignore this. You guys can take breaks because you're at home, of course. That's irrelevant. What if you don't know the answers? It's okay and expected that you will not know all the answers. The test is designed so you probably won't know all the answers. Just try your best and select or input your best guess. Why would they make a test where you wouldn't know all the answers? That's kind of weird, right? Well, it's because of what this test does. As you guys know, usually a test is something you take after you've studied something, and the number you get correct indicates how much you learned, right? Well, with this test, what it is, they give you a question. If you get it right, they give you a harder one. If you get that right, they give you a harder one. And they keep making them harder and harder until you reach a point where you're getting about half the questions right. And by the time you get to that point where you're reaching half the questions correct, then that's how they know what level you're at. So in other words, everybody towards the end of the test should be looking about getting only about half of the questions right, because that's just how the test is designed. So it doesn't mean you're failing. It means that it's basically just a marker to see what your progress is. So the more questions you get right, the higher your level goes, but you will reach a point where you're not able to get them all right, probably, unless you're just a super genius or something, which is fine. Which you might be. You guys are all calculus students. So anyway, you can't change your answer once you've marked it, so once you submit it, it's in. When you're done, you'll see something that says, congratulations, you finished the test. And then after that, you're welcome to sign off and be done for the rest of the day. During the test, you'll probably want to have some scratch paper and a paper and pencil present so that you can work out problems that they give you. Maybe a couple pieces of scratch paper, who knows. Should you keep the Google Meet open during the test session? Well, yeah, you should always do that just in case I have an announcement or something, or if you have a question. But I'm predicting that even though we're trying to get through all the technology issues we can today, I'm still predicting that there's probably going to be some other issues coming up tomorrow because people are absent today, or maybe something else will go on tomorrow that I don't know about. And so people are still going to have a lot of questions, and I don't want my constant talking to distract you from doing well on your test. So leave the Google Meet on, but just go ahead and turn your volume off. Now, as you guys can see here, it says make sure that you're the one taking the test. Keep your camera on. I'm not going to do that. You do not need to turn your cameras on. Okay, don't worry about it. What should I do if I have a problem? Just let me know and we'll figure it out together. I might be able to help you or I might not. You can put it in the chat box if you want to, or you can just call out to me. I personally prefer you guys to call out to me because I don't always look at my chat box, and sometimes your guys' questions sit in there for like 5 minutes before I notice them. So if you just say, hey Bailey, I'll help you out right away. But anyway, we can ignore that. So now we're going to actually start trying to get you guys logged in, okay? So the first thing you guys are going to do is you're going to go to your browser, whatever internet browser you use, and you're going to type in this website. Now later on, if you accidentally get kicked out or something and you need to sign back in, I'm going to paste that website right now into our chat box so you can find it again. So I just pasted the web page into the chat box. You can also just cut and paste it here from the chat box right into your browser window and go right there. Now, at this point, you're going to see one of 3 screens, okay? If you see this one here that says login, you're a winner. You're going to have an easier day probably. But if you're like the other, probably about 75% of the students, you won't see this screen, so don't feel bad. Most students don't see this right away because there's technology issues. But if you do see this window where it says login, then you've got a little bit of an easier day ahead of you and tomorrow because it's going to run smoothly for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait like another 30 seconds for you guys to get this website entered into your browser. And then after that, I'm going to ask how many people are actually able to see the login screen, okay? But I'll wait 30 seconds. Okay, so now if you guys see the login screen, then I'm talking to you right now. So I don't want anybody to say no. I only want to hear yeses. Does anybody see the login screen right now? Type in a yes if you can see the login screen. I don't want to hear any no's. I just want to see the yeses. Okay, that's quite a few of you. So what I'm going to do, while I'm doing this, I'll tell the rest of you guys what to do. You might need to disable your pop-up blockers. So if you know how to do that, then do that right now. That if you're having trouble seeing this screen, try to disable your pop-up blocker and try again. If you don't know how to disable your pop-up blockers, I will help you as much as I can in a moment, okay? But for those of you guys that actually see the login screen, I'm going to give you guys your sign-in information right now. And you guys actually get to start the test, and you'll have a nice, easy day. And you'll get to start early tomorrow. So, alright, so here's what you guys are going to do. You're going to type in the session name, Math 3. So I'm going to type that into the chat window once again, because sometime along this class today, you guys are going to be able to fix your problem and you're going to be able to get in. And so I'm going to put it in the chat window so that you guys can come back and find this username and session password available so you can get in anytime you want to. So go ahead and enter this session password where it says Math3 and then the password is 8458. Once again, this is for people that actually see the login page. If you don't see the login page, try disabling your pop-up blocker if you know how to. If you don't, just sit tight. I'll be with you in a second. Once you guys enter that session name and password, you'll need to select your name. You'll need to click yes. After that, you should see this page right here where it says, please wait for the proctor to confirm your information. So I'm going to wait about a minute here for you guys to enter this username and password here. Find your name, click yes, and get to this page. After that, I'm going to open the test for those of you guys that are in that position. The rest of you guys, try to remember this stuff because as we go, you're going to be able to correct your issues and you'll be able to do this too. And just so you guys know while you're working on this, once you guys do all this stuff, I have to open the test for you. So throughout the day, let's say you resolve your problem if you've been having some problems, just go back and get signed in, do all this, and then get to this point, and periodically I'll keep coming back to the testing window and opening the test for people that have gotten to this point. Yes, that's the correct one, Amanda. Hey, Jelani. So if instead of seeing the login page, if you saw the Workstation Readiness Check, please type in the window over here right now, yes. I want to know if there's anybody I need to address that to. Did anybody see that page? Just type yes if you saw this page. Okay, nobody saw it. Now just for the sake of the recording here, I'm going to answer this question. But that could be a pretty bad situation, or it could be not a big deal. So here's what you would do. If you have a Chromebook, you're going to push Control-Shift-0 and then refresh browser. If you have Windows, you're going to push Control-0 and then refresh your browser, and that should fix the issue. That's only if you see this page, though. Okay. Now, If that doesn't work, then what that means is that the device you're using probably is not compatible with this website software. So you would need to use a different device. Okay? So it could maybe, instead of using your phone, use your desktop computer. Or instead of using your desktop computer, try the Chromebook that you could check out from the school. You got to try something different. Now, if you don't have a different device, well, unless you can get one today from the school, then you might not be able to take the test tomorrow, which, although that's nice because then tomorrow you have a break, the problem is the school's going to hunt you down. They're going to make you take it at a different time. So do the best you can to be ready for tomorrow. Now, it's according to your guys' messages, though, nobody had this issue in this class. So I'm going to move off of this page now. Most of you guys probably had this issue where it says, oops, where's my test window? And what that means is you need to turn off your pop-up blocker. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a page here that will address how to fix that issue. But before I do that, I'm just going to show you, most of you guys are probably using Google. So if you're using Google, just follow my steps right now, okay? If you're not using Google, once again, just sit tight and I'll leave these instructions up for you in a minute. But if you're using Google, you're going to come to the top right-hand corner of your browser window here. You're going to click on these three dots. You're going to scroll down to where it says Settings. And just so you guys know, regardless of what browser you're using, this is probably what you're going to do for any of them. You're going to go to Settings, okay, wherever that Settings button is. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go down to where it says Site Settings. And then you're going to go down to where it says Pop-ups and Redirects. And you're going to change this button from being on to being off. Okay? And Justin, you're asking how long does it take to take this test? I don't have an exact answer for that. They say it should take about an hour, but and that's why you might want to get a head start today, so that way tomorrow you have as much time as you need, if not more. But it kind of just varies from student to student, honestly. But anyway, so that's how you guys would do it with Google. Now, if you don't have Google, I will leave these instructions up here for the next couple minutes. But first, I'm going to open the test up and see if there's anybody else waiting to be confirmed. Once again, if at any time you guys get your issues figured out, type in the username, the session, and the password. So Jelani, if the website worked for you, you didn't get the weird message, you would type in this session name and password, and you can start taking your test now. If it didn't work for you, then you probably want to try doing what we're doing right now, which is disabling the pop-up blocker. So I'll leave these instructions up here for 2 minutes, and then just go back through the steps again. Go to the web page, enter the session name and password, and see if you can get signed in this time. You should be able to get to a place where the website says waiting for teacher to confirm. So I'll wait about 2 minutes for you guys.